Welcome back to Morning Talk on the Talk of Mid-Utah, KSVC 980 AM and 100.5 FM. Robert Lovell with you alongside Porter Huntsman. Time now for our Radio Roundup interview, and today we are joined by Sevier School District Superintendent Cade Douglas and Monroe Elementary Principal Ted Chappell. And Cade, Ted, thanks for coming in this morning.
Yeah, we appreciate you all allowing us to come back.
Yeah, glad to have you on, as always.
Yep.
And so, okay, let's first off start with you with what's happening with the school district as a whole. I know there's a group of individuals you wanted to give a little shout-out to at this time of year.
Yeah. This week is the National Psychologist Week, and we don't have school psychologists per se. We do have one that's involved in a lot of testing that we share with other districts, but we do have 6, we call them mental health coordinators. They're therapists, and they do an excellent job with our students. We're able to have basically one every 2 schools, and it has been game-changing for us to hire these therapists to come in and coordinate mental health, they spend a lot of their time teaching kids, working with staff members, spending time in the classroom, modeling. When I was a new teacher, I remember I taught 4th grade my first year, and I had a couple of students that were really difficult for me. Their behaviors were difficult, and I struggled keeping them engaged, and I had a instructional coach come in and watch me teach. Come to find out, a lot of their behaviors I was actually triggering. And I know that as a parent, and I see that a lot. And that's something that they're really good at is behaviors, anything that's associated with wellness. They're therapists, so they're there to provide support to students directly. One-on-one therapy time. They spend about 2 to 3 hours a day working with our students that are in crisis, and then they spend a large amount of time in the classroom on what we call Tier 1 interventions, where they're working with teachers. We're trying to change the cultures of our school, better understand students and their behaviors, where they're coming from. And then they do what we call Tier 2 interventions, where they spend time in small group therapy. One of the other things they do that's so valuable is just coordinate services within the community. If a student has a need for more intensive therapy, then they make sure parents are involved, and we can reach out to other outside therapists and get the students the consistent support they need. So it's if you talk to anyone in our district, they'll tell you it's been a game changer. We've had these.
It's been a big push for the last several years in schools everywhere. But and you've, as you said, you've seen results directly here in Sevier School District.
Yes, I mean, a topic for another day is the wellness curriculum or the social emotional curriculum, and I'd love to talk more about that maybe on another day because it'll take a lot more time. But there are a lot of parents concerned that, hey, this is a bad thing. Is social emotional learning the critical race theory? And it's not. What we're talking about with our, specifically our mental health coordinators, they're teaching things like resilience, how to resolve conflict, how to appropriately debate and disagree, how to get along with a team. We're talking about life skills that they're good for all of our students. And I've had a few parents, not a lot, but I have had a few parents reach out with concerns, and rightfully so. What is this curriculum? What is being taught when it comes to wellness or mental health? And I'm always quick to tell them, hey, I'm a dad of students that attend this district. I'm also an uncle. I wouldn't want anything harmful or inappropriate to be taught to our students, and we're always on guard as teachers and educators, as principals, superintendents, to make sure that our curriculum aligns with our social values and our norms here in the community. So we have to be careful because those federal and national pieces can creep in, but they're not happening in our district, and we're watching very closely to make sure that we're focused on these important topics like resiliency, knowing what to do when you fail. How to handle being a team member, how to handle conflict, those types of things. And they're good, and we welcome parents if they have questions to come and see the curriculum. We invite them to come on in, and we have copies of it at the district office. We can show them exactly what's being taught. So the few that I have spoken with have generally left very happy. They think, oh, okay, I see that this is a need. It wasn't a need years ago, when we were students many moons ago. I think for the most part, students came with a lot of those skills, but we do have students that are coming to school that struggle with behaviors. They flip their lid, so to speak, and they don't know how to regulate emotion. So in order for them to be able to learn academically, we have to spend some time building foundations, helping them feel regulated so that they can be successful in the academic side. So we talk a lot about the whole child. I mean, we want them to be healthy and happy physically, mentally, socially, and we have to help meet those needs so that they can achieve academically.
Yeah. So it's again, we appreciate the work that all those mental health individuals do in the district and really throughout the state and schools everywhere. But
they're professionals, they're experts in that area, and we're grateful to have them in our schools to help us navigate through the wellness side of our work. So
before we get to the Monroe Elementary, anything else in the school district
I just
side?
wanted to just kind of remind all the listeners out there. I think you've all heard me say many times, we've had Josh Shipp come and visit our district, and he wrote a book that's called the Teenage Guide, or the Adult's Guide to Teenage Humans. And what he always says is that every child is one caring adult away from becoming a success story. And I just want to plead with all of the adults in our valley to become a caring adult. You know, if it's your son or daughter, or your grandson or granddaughter, or niece or nephew, or even just a neighbor, or even just a student or a child that you know in your neighborhood, or someone that you know, be deliberate in being that caring adult. A lot of our students are struggling. These are difficult times that our society has gone through and is going through with COVID and all the different pieces that we face. I just want to challenge, if you're listening out there, if you're within the Mid-Utah radio listening area, be a caring adult. Think of a student right now in your mind, a child right now in your mind that you could reach out to. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you're proud of them. Let them know that you're someone that can listen to them and help them. Especially if you're a parent, be patient with your child. You know, always put the relationship first, and just be that caring adult, because that, according to research, that's the difference maker. If every kid had one caring adult, they would become successful. I know in my life, I know all of us, if you think back on your life, you wouldn't be where you are today if it weren't for several caring adults, and I still have those in my life. Right. I have past teachers that check in on me, important people in my life that check in on me, and I think every kid needs that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as again, you've shared that before, and that's such a great mindset to have right there, and hopefully everybody can do that. Principal Chappell, let's come to you with what's happening at Monroe Elementary.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to thank Superintendent. These mental health coordinators have been super beneficial in our schools. We have Mr. Johansson, and he does a great job, and it's definitely a need nowadays, more so than ever. And, so all the help we can get with the social and emotional piece of it has been really good for our students. So thank you. And, big shout out to them. It has been a huge benefit for our students. Monroe Elementary, I think it's one of the best schools in the district. We have a great staff, great teachers, and we do quite a bit of fun things along with the curriculum side of it. One of the things that we've really focused on in our school is establishing the PLC process, which is, first of all, identifying what every kid should know. How do we know if they learned it? If they didn't, then what are we going to do to intervene? And if they did learn it, what are those extensions that we can provide those students? I think sometimes those students get forgotten a little bit, and so we've really focused on that piece of the academic. And our teams, our PLC meetings, are data focused and really specific to what those students need to know. Curriculum and academics is important, but we also understand that, kids need to have fun at the elementary level. One thing I'm real proud of our students, the local food bank had a food drive a month or so ago. And boy, it was neat to see our students in our community rally around the food bank, and our students brought in over 5,000 pounds worth of food. So it was really neat to see how our community supported the food bank, and boy, they were really excited about the food. So that was really neat.
I feel like there's one teacher that usually wins every year. That's what I keep hearing.
There's a couple. Another teacher got involved, and the two of them, it was fun. It was fun.
It's a little competitive, doesn't it?
Yes. Another thing that is fun is, we need to continue to focus on is traditions. And a few years ago, my wife was scrolling through Facebook and come across a picture of the Monroe Elementary Halloween parade back in 1956.
Wow.
Yeah, and she showed that to me, and anyway, I've got that picture, but it's really cool to see. It's the same route that we take currently. I mean, every year. It was really neat to see the old cars parked along the streets and to see the difference that the town has made. There used to be an old station right there on the corner where the school playground was, and it's just neat to see that that the traditions have carried on for that long. And so
that's what 65 years right there.
Right.
And
the school was built in 1951. So I mean, that picture was right after that school was built. So anyway, that's been fun to carry on that tradition.
It seems like this year, as I kind of went around, I happened to be there when they were doing their route, and then I caught the Ashman Elementary one this year as well. The kids were so excited. I think they missed it from last year, and huge shout out to our principals and teachers. Mr. Chappell was dressed up like a biker,
yeah,
full leather, and every year he dresses up, and that's not something he enjoys to do. He does enjoy it because he does it for the kids. It's something that he does for them, and it's all the teachers. They dress up, they have fun. That's
one of my favorite things about the parade is to see how the different teacher groups coordinated together.
Yes, yeah. I texted. I have a little second grade daughter, and I've never seen her so excited. It's like Christmas morning in a way. She woke up just squealing with joy for that Halloween parade. And first two people I saw in the parade were the principal and assistant principal dressed up like butterflies. And I thought, it just doesn't get any better than that. The kids see that. It's a great synergy. And the text I sent them as administrators, and I appreciate all of our principals, is I'm so grateful that my daughter loves to get up and go to school. And I think that's what they're trying to accomplish in all of our schools, but specifically at Monroe Elementary, they have some fun activities. It's a calm and wonderful place to be, and these kids like to get up and go to school. And you've heard me talk about attendance. These habits and desires start very young. And that's really, if you talk about, I have a son that's a sophomore. If he enjoys school and likes to get up and go, it makes attendance easy. And so we've got to instill that in the kids early on, that school's a great place to be, it's a fun place to be, and that they're loved there. So Monroe Elementary, Mr. Chappell was very humble when he talked about PLCs, professional learning communities. They could be a model site for the state and even the nation. They run professional learning communities better than any school I've ever seen. They really dig into that data. They work so well as a team. There's a culture there that just everyone gets along. They find each other's strengths and weaknesses and build on each other, as a team, and that's part of why they have such great outcomes with their students. So they do a great job, and they, while they're at it, they have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. We work hard towards that. One more shout out that I want to share. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. Certainly want to thank all the veterans out there for their service. Our fifth graders have been busy preparing for a Veterans Day program. We also work with the local veterans group there in Monroe, and at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Lions Park, our fifth graders will go over and present a little program for the veterans, and it's just a neat thing that we involved with the community. So I'd like to invite all those out again 11 o'clock tomorrow at the Lions Park for just a little short ceremony to celebrate our veterans. So big shout out to them. So
that's a great reminder, and it kind of ties this whole discussion back together. We are so fortunate to live in this country and in this little valley of Sevier County where we do honor our veterans. Our schools we're teaching our children to honor our veterans. it's awesome. I've seen it all over social media. We're inviting them to come out, and if you are a veteran that's listening, please come out and let us honor you. We need you so our students can learn how to appropriately honor our brave men and women that protect our country. So I know they're so humble and they don't like to come. They don't like to come and be honored, but if you're listening, we need you to come so that our students can learn how to appropriately honor you and honor our country. So we live in such a great community. We really do. And a shout out again to all of our employees, our teachers, all of our support staff. I mean, these are people. We live in a world right now where a lot of people aren't getting up and going to work, and our teachers are. Every single day they're there. They have the best interest of students in mind, and they're doing everything they can to help them be safe and comfortable and healthy. So we're very fortunate to live where we live.
Yeah, once again, Sevier School District Superintendent Cade Douglas and Monroe Elementary Principal Ted Chappell with us this morning. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and all those educators, teachers, other support staff around this elementary school in Monroe, and of course throughout the school district. So thank you for what you're doing, and thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah, it's great to visit with you. Thank you.
All right, there we go. There's our radio roundup interview for today.